What's up everyone, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video, and today we are bringing back Krookodile from the dead. We are talking about Krookodile. This Pokemon is actually really interesting. It has 3 really good abilities, pretty solid stats, an interesting typing that gives it a lot of weaknesses but 1 immunity, and yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can use this Pokemon. So we actually have 2 builds for VGC today, one really offensive one with Anger Point, and then one more, well, still very offensive with Intimidate, but mostly, you know, it has options for support as well, which is really cool. And then we also, of course, have single Spotlight and speed tiers and damage calcs, so if that's what you're interested in, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe right now, or don't. Anyway, do those things though. Anyway, let's talk about Krookodile. So, ground dark typing is pretty interesting, giving us 1 immunity of electric, 4 resistances of poison, rock, ghost, and dark, and then 6 weaknesses. This is really unfortunate for the Pokemon. Water, grass, ice, fighting, bug, and fairy, all pretty prevalent in the game. Bug is the only one that's not very prevalent, but we do have some Pokemon like Volcarona now that are going to be hitting very, very strong max Flutterbys and taking this guy out immediately. So yeah, that sucks. But as far as our abilities go, we have a bunch of really good abilities. Actually, all 3 are amazing. 2 are really good on this Pokemon. Actually, 1 is really good on this Pokemon, and then 1 is really interesting for a certain build for a certain Pokemon. And then, yeah, we'll talk about it more in a bit. But, yeah, we have Intimidate and Anger Point that we're going to be touching on today. And Intimidate is, of course, the one. If you want to play this Pokemon generic on any kind of team, Intimidate is your go-to. Just being able to lower both opposing Pokemon's stats, attack stats by 1 is amazing. So that's really good. Anyway, let's look at this guy's stats. So HP 95 is not bad. Defense at 80 and special defense at 70 are pretty average. It has pretty general bulk, like pretty average general bulk, but it does have 6 weaknesses, so there's a lot of things that'll be able to just deal super effective damage against it and take it out, either 1-shot or 2-shot. But you know, it's not super bulky, so you are going to get 1-shot a lot, especially by special attackers. So you know, like something like Assault Vest could be optimal as well, or like, you know, stuff for special defense. Yeah, our special defense is pretty low, but you know, Intimidate helps our physical bulk, so that's good. As far as offense goes, this Pokemon's not bad in offense. It has 117 attack, which isn't great, but it's not bad. And then we also have speed at 92, which also isn't great, but not bad. So it's pretty good. It hits a pretty solid speed tier, outspeeding a lot of really good Pokemon, but there are a lot of big threats that do outspeed it, so yeah. Anyway, this is going to be a longer video, so let's go ahead and jump into the first move set. So the first build is going to be the more generic Intimidate Choice Scarf build. Our ability is to Intimidate for this one, lowering our opponent's attack stats, very solid. This is the one that if you want to if you want some kind of Intimidator and you don't already have a lot of, you know, like weird typings like ground dark, go ahead and slap them on your team and see if you like it. It's pretty cool. It has the option of Choice Scarf, which is very good for this Pokemon, especially with things like Lash Out just being huge damage. And you know what? I just realized that Protect is on there. We shouldn't have Protect on there. That should be Taunt, or maybe Snarl, or maybe Swagger. But yeah, definitely not Protect. So yeah, whoops on my bad. Anyway, so no Protect there, but as far as our moves go, we are running high horsepower, Lash Out, close combat, and then, you know, Protect only if you're running Assault Vest, or not Assault Vest, Protect if you're running like a Berry or like Life Orb or Focus Sash or something like that, but if you're running like you know, Choice Scarf or even Assault Vest, you have to run a different option instead of Protect. If you are running Choice Scarf, probably Taunt. I feel like that's probably optimal. Maybe Swagger, like I was saying, and Beat Up if you are running a justified user on your team. Snarl could also be a good option as well, but probably not the best for Choice Scarf. But yeah, anyway, for Choice Scarf, we're running those 3 attacks and then 1 other attack. Or if you don't run Choice Scarf and you run anything else, 2, you know, your dual stab attacks like Lash Out and high horsepower, Protect, and then 1 other move, a coverage move, or just a move of choice like Beat Up or Taunt or something. Could be a good option. But high horsepower and Lash Out both give us very strong stab physical attack, which is very good. Lash Out is amazing with this Pokemon as well. Intimidate lowers your opponent's stats turn 1, and then Lash Out just goes in and hits really hard turn 1, making Lash Out just an amazing attack for this Pokemon. And it's really good. A couple of other options we could go with Earthquake instead of high horsepower if you want, if you have multiple ground resists or immunities on your team, you know, something like Levitate, something, you know, Flyers, or just a lot of Protect on your team and you don't think you're going to switch out into it a lot. Earthquake can definitely be a good option. Then we also have Darkest Lariat instead of Lash Out. Lash Out's better turn 1, But if you don't think you're going to be going for that move a lot turn 1, you could go for Darkest Lariat instead. You could even dual stab with dual dark moves if you want to. I wouldn't, but Lash Out is really cool, and I think it's worth playing for that turn 1. And then we have a couple of other coverage moves, things like Rock Slide and I was going to say Close Combat, but that's already on our set. So yeah, we have like Rock Slide. And then you also have Snarl, which is really good. You see that on a lot of Intimidate users, being able to lower the special attack as well as the attack with their own Intimidate, which is very good. And then we also have a couple of neat little attacks here, Beat Up, Taunt, and Swagger. Beat Up is really cool in this Pokemon, especially since you can be fast with Choice Scarf, and then Beat Up you're something like Terrakion or, Cobalion, Verzian, any of those Pokemon. Actually, does Verzian? I think it does, right? I don't know, but yeah, anything like that, any justified user, something like Lucario, you have that option of Beat Up, which is very good. And then we also have Taunt and Swagger, both being pretty good. Like I said, Choice Scarf, you'll probably use one of those over Protect or just a 4th move. So yeah, that's about it for this set. Let's go ahead and talk about the EVs real quick of this set real quick. Real quick, did I say it enough? So we have attack 252 and speed 252, Jolly Nature giving us plus speed minus special attack, and we put our leftover 4 into HP. You could go more bulky on this Pokemon and do less damage or less speed. I wouldn't really admit to less speed, maybe on Choice Scarf, maybe running just enough speed to outspeed something like Dragapult, or maybe like Choice Scarf like Dracovish or something. Because we don't outspeed too much additional stuff at 237. We still get outsped by all the weather users and everything like that. That is a big thing that Krookodile struggles with, is weather Pokemon, being able to outspeed and outpace the Pokemon. Setting weather, like Chlorophyll Pokemon just destroy this Pokemon. Same with Swift Swim users. So, maybe have something like Tyranitar on your team to be with the Krookodile. I didn't add any generic Pokemon to jump in with this because Krookodile is going to be one of those generic Pokemon that just jump on a team, but Tyranitar is one of those Pokemon that would help this Krookodile build a lot. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's going to be it for this build. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the Anger Point build real quick. So this is a really interesting set that we came up with. Its ability is Anger Point. Now, if you don't know what this does, is it maxes your attack when you're hit by a critical hit. So it's very similar to like belly drumming, but instead of eating half your eating half of your HP, then you just gotta get hit by a critical hit. So with the new Pokemon Urshifu, we do have access to getting guaranteed critical hits, which is very, very good for the young Krookodile Anger Point. Being able to make it just maximize attack turn 1. We ran Kee Berry so that you can get a +1 defense after using that. And we ran Damage Calcs. We have Damage Calcs for Lash Out into this Pokemon. Or not Lash Out, the Wicked Blow from the Urshifu. We don't take that much damage, and when you Dynamax and have Kee Berry, you go +1 defense as well as max attack, which is +6. And, if your opponent intimidates you turn 1, then you still get that -1. You go +12 attack. That's what the actual Anger Point does. You don't have 12 stages that you can go up. You max at 6. But if you do have, Intimidate turn 1, or your opponent like Max Wormwind outspeeds you, then you get to max that right back out. So that's really good. This Pokemon becomes a monster after +6. I mean, most Pokemon will become monsters after +6. So as far as our moves, we went Darkest Lariat, High Horsepower, Iron Tail, and Protect. Protect just because we can use it with Kee Berry. And then we also have Darkest Lariat, High Horsepower, Iron Tail for really, really strong max moves. You want to max this Pokemon turn 1, Kee Berry with the Wicked Blow, and then your +1 defense, +6 attack. It's just an amazing Pokemon. Darkest Lariat becomes really good, and then you have High Horsepower and Iron Tail for max Steel Spike and max Quick to, buff your defenses. I wish this Pokemon got some form of speed control. It might have, something like Giga Impact, actually. That's actually, would be good to know. Does it get anything like that? It does actually get Giga Impact, so maybe that would land on this set as well. As some form of speed control. That could be good. And then other moves, we have Close Combat and Rock Slide that are really good coverage moves for this Pokemon. So yeah, you could go with those as options as well. And then as far as our EVs went, we just went 252 into HP and 252 plus into speed with that Jolly Nature, and then put our leftover 4 into attack. Since we go +6, I thought it was a little bit better to go into bulk, but definitely mess around with some speed tiers, or not, mess around with some damage calcs, and make sure that we have enough attack to take Okos on everything, because that's pretty much all this is. Click max move Mon after you go +6. So yeah, that's pretty good. A couple of other items you could go with is Life Orb or Assault Vest, but I really like the idea of just +1 defense immediately, which is really good. So yeah, that's going to be it for this little build here. Let's talk about some synergetics Pokemon with this Pokemon. So first off, we have Urshifu, the dark fighting type one with Wicked Blow. I think is definitely the optimal way to run Krookodile, just because, you know, Surging Strikes will almost kill it, if not kill it. So going with that is good. And then we also have Togekiss here. Follow Me is very good for this Pokemon since you get bulk. Since you get very buff and are not super bulky, and there's a lot of weak or super effective attacks against this Pokemon, so having redirection is good. It also destroys those grass and fighting Pokemon that are really you know, threatening to Krookodile. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for the 2 sets. I hope you enjoyed them. We'll go ahead and move on to some speed tiers real quick. So we do have this Scarf tier as well as the regular. We'll talk about the regular one first. We are hitting 158 at max speed, which is very, very solid. We are outspeeding good things like Excadrill, Form-Change Rotom, Duraludon, Arcanine sometimes if it doesn't max speed, DD Female, Rillaboom most of the time. Like, there's a lot of really good Pokemon that we do outspeed. I say most of the time because it could be Scarfed. I don't think it ever will be. But yeah, we outspeed a lot of really good Pokemon. A couple things that do outspeed us: Mimikyu, Charizard, Cinderace, Inteleon, Dragapult, things like that, you know. All the Swift Swim users like Chlorophyll Pokemon, Scarf Pokemon. But if we do add that Scarf on a Krookodile, we hit 237, outspeeding Pokemon like Dragapult and then everything else that I listed except for the Swift Swim and Chlorophyll users. They are a little bit faster than us. We have things like Kingdra and Venusaur hitting 264 and 274, you know, respectively, outspeeding our young boy Krookodile. And that's a big reason why I definitely think you should run some form of weather on your team to be able to counter these weather Pokemon if it's a Krookodile-centered team. But Krookodile usually won't be the center unless it's the Anger Point build, and Anger Point build loses a little bit less to those Pokemon, still does though. Can definitely just get OHKO'd by, you know, Max Geyser from Kingdra or something. So yeah, you still have to worry about that. Anyway, that's going to be it for our speed tiers. Let's go ahead and talk about some damage calcs real quick. So as far as damage calcs go, our first one here is Iron Fist, Urshifu, Wicked Blow, Iron Fist. That's wrong. This is actually doing more damage then. I don't know why alright, so I had to use Pingoro, and I didn't change Iron Fist off, and this is supposedly Drain Punch. It's weird. So we're doing 20% less damage. So this is actually an incorrect calc, but that's in our favor because it's doing less damage. So first off, on a critical hit into Krookodile, Max Krookodile hitting 15 to 17% damage, which is not that bad once we Dynamax, and then we get a +1 defense drop, or +1 defense stat bonus as well with Kee Berry, which is very good. You could also go Assault Vest with this Pokemon, but then you lose Protect, which I think is pretty valuable in this set. And then that was with a 4 attack, but if we have 252 attack, it only does 18 to 21, and that's still with our Iron Fist, I believe. So damage calcs are kind of weird with Urshifu and Pokemon like that. Because they aren't, you know, added onto the game yet, or added onto our damage calcs yet. So we have to, like, wing them and do them kind of weirdly. So hopefully this is all right, but I believe it is. So yeah, we're not doing too much damage, so activating Anger Point is pretty good. And by the way, the first 4 calcs here are the Anger Point build, with more HP and stuff like that. So yeah. Next, we have Dynamaxed Anger Point Krookodile Max Steel Spike into a very, very defensive Togekiss, hitting 184 to 217%, which is a guaranteed OHKO, and about a 50% chance to OHKO through Babbery Berry, which is very, very good for this Pokemon, being able to take down even Babbery Berry bulky Togekiss, potentially, which is very good. Next, we have Dynamax Anger Point Max Quake into Eviolite Porygon. This is the current most used spread on Pikalytics. Or it's actually the second most used spread, but it's the only one with, like, big defense. So yeah, this is what we went with. But 252 HP and then 108 defense. Eviolite Porygon 2, hitting 113 to 133, which is crazy because this is one of the most one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the game, and not even hitting super effective. We are able to take a guaranteed OHKO against it, which is very, very good. Next, we have 1 defensive calc for our max HP. In Rain, Max Geyser from a special attacking Kingdra is hitting 98 to 115%, which is an 87.5% chance to OHKO. This is not a good matchup. You honestly, like, weather teams are really bad for Krookodile, and you know, even like if we can reset the Rain, we'll live this obviously, but you have to, like, then you can't activate Anger Point turn 1 if you have to switch. So that's, like, it kind of sucks. Yeah. Anyway, next we have our calcs for our defensive boy, or not really defensive boy, but more of like a, you know, not offensive as offensive boy. It's not the Anger Point. It's the Intimidate is what I'm saying. Anyway, so first off, special attacking Life Orb, Liquid Voice, Marina has a guaranteed OHKO against us, 125 to 148%. This should come as like kind of a no-brainer. Since it's Life Orb, it's very offensive, and then it's also, you know, special attacking, so we don't even -1 it with Intimidate, so that really sucks. But also, this is, whoops, everything's weird right now. Everything's weird because not everything's done. Anyway, so next we have Grassy Glide from Rillaboom, -1 because of the Intimidate. Hitting in grassy terrain, that +1 speed priority Grassy Glide is hitting 71 to 85%, which is a lot of damage, but we do live it, which is very good. Yeah. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Not actually, we have single spotlight still. That's going to be it for damage calcs. Let's go on to single spotlight real quick. So as far as single spotlight goes, we are running ability Intimidate, choice Scarf as far as our item goes. We are running Lash Out, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Taunt. Very good stuff for choice Scarf. You have Lash Out for really big damage turn 1. Like I said, you could also opt for Darkest Lariat, but there's a lot more switching in singles. So Lash Out I think is really good for this set with choice Scarf. And then we also have Earthquake, Stone Edge, Earthquake for more stab damage, and then Stone Edge for coverage. You can change this out for like close combat or Rock Slide if you are afraid of missing, or, you know, like any of the other moves. And then we have Taunt here as well, just being able to stop those setup Pokemon from really doing anything. Then you'll have to switch out because it's choice Scarf, of course, but I think, you know, they'll have to switch out too, and you'll have like turns of repositioning, and it's weird, but it'll be good. And then we also have 252 into attack and 252 into speed, and the Jolly Nature giving us plus speed minus special attack, so we're just as fast as possible. So yeah, that's about it for the video. That's it for our singles. Anyway, so that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and go down and like and subscribe, and go down to the comment section and say, hey, nice vid. Or if you want to say something more constructive or anything differently, do that as well. Either one is fine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Krookodile is a really cool Pokemon. I don't think it's as powerful as it has been in certain past gens. It's never really been insane, but it has taken you know, a Worlds before, and it's been very, very good in multiple events. So it definitely has the, you know, promise that it could be good. Anger Point is a really cool ability, and Intimidate is obviously a very strong ability and just something we know more. So if you don't want to go kind of crazy and go Anger Point, just try Intimidate, and the Pokemon will see some results, see some good results. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord. Have a great 2 months. Goodbye.